Hey guys, how you doing? It's time for a live. It's Thursday. How you guys doing? I have this bow on and I keep sitting on it. How you guys doing? So, it is gorgeous in Las Vegas today. The weather is amazing. It's really amazing. So it's been a great day. So I hope you guys have had a really good day today. We are going to talk about energy today. We're going to talk about energy. We're going to talk about commanding energy. We're going to talk about getting rid of that energy that we don't want and don't like. Hi guys, how you doing? Hi. How you guys doing? I always like to start just saying hello to everybody first, so I need my glasses. So let me just say hello to everybody. Hi, you guys. Waving to all you guys. How you guys doing? So nice to see you all. So today we're going to talk about energy, and I think it's really important because I'm a big believer of, commanding energy and understanding that we can choose the energy that we create in our life, within ourselves, in our homes, in our place of work. We're in charge. And today's a little bit about that. So we got a lot we want to talk about, and I just want to wait for a few people to kind of come on first. Let me just see. Hi, Lori. How are you? Hi, Sarah. How's it going? So I'm just going to wait just a couple of minutes here, and then we're going to get going. But let me know where you guys are chiming in from also, please. And also, I just want to kind of have a little bit of a disclaimer moving forward here. Also, a little disclaimer of, when you have comments in this feed, understand that sometimes people find out that I'm coming live, and certain people who are, they reach out to you and they're trying to get you to do a reading with them, or they're trying to maneuver you to their page, or to get information from you or something like that. And they'll, reply to you through your comments, and they block me so I can't see it, except for I know that it's happening because you guys tell me. So I just want you guys to know, probably better not to respond to those. Obviously, it's your decision to do what you want to do, but you have to just kind of wonder about the integrity of somebody that would go on somebody else's page and try to lure people into doing something that they say they're offering. We don't even know if that's even the case. So we just kind of have to be mindful of that. So obviously, if you get comments, if you get responses through your comments that you place here from any particular person who does this, you got to kind of question the authenticity and the ethical standards. At least I would, but I'm not doing that. I'm not going on anyone's page. So anyway, so just, heads up, just be aware that you might receive a comment from somebody, a response, and just know that's kind of what's happening. It's obviously up to you if you want to respond, but I just want to put that disclaimer out. I got nothing to do with those if they do that, and sometimes they see I'm coming live and they pop on and try to do that very thing. So, okay. So I just wanted to say that disclaimer. Hey, Erin, how are you? How's it going? Lori's from Rhode Island. Hello. Hi, Melissa Scott. How you doing, gorgeous? Hey, Sarah. And they message me, and then you block them. Sarah says, yeah. So see, Sarah's one of them where they'll literally send everybody a comment. So it'll be like, I really feel something with you, or I'm feeling really connected with you. But they do the same thing to absolutely every single person. So it's all a bunch of nonsense. But anyway, up to you if you feel that you want to respond to that. I'm just letting you know I have nothing to do with them. So, okay, Lori says, yes, I received one and I didn't respond either. Okay, perfect. Just because, I just don't know where it's coming from. And so we always have to be a little bit careful in today's world. So, hey, Evie, how you doing? Oh my gosh, Evie's on Insta today. How you guys doing? Foster boys. Hi, honey. How you guys doing? Hi, everyone. Let me just see here. Let me just see. Okay, yeah, if you guys want to review a request, I can do that. Oh, Evie says, you tried me on Facebook, but I wasn't there. I'm here. I see people on. You could try Facebook. Hi, Chicky. How are you? Hi, Helen. You're beautiful, too. Thank you. Hi, Marilyn. How you guys doing? Okay, well, hopefully people are seeing me on Facebook. I do see several on here. All right, so tonight we're going to talk about energy. We're going to talk about energy clearing, And there's a reason why I want to talk about this today, because something happened in my work, and so I want to talk about it, and it's what kind of prompted me to kind of do that. So we're going to talk about that. So energy clearing and our own personal energy, you know. So let me just see here. So before I get into that, I just want to talk really quickly about my next live. So tonight and next week on Thursday, I'm going to be talking about energy. So this week, it's about really commanding your space. It's about commanding your own energy and how you're stepping into your day and how you're stepping into your home and clearing energy that's feeling negative. And when I'm saying the word negative, I'm not talking about negative spirits. I'm just talking about energy that feels heavy. I'm going to talk to you about how do you know if there's negative energy around you? How would that make you feel? So we're going to talk about that a little bit also. And then we're going to talk about how to clear your own personal energy and clear the space in your home. And I'm going to share with you a recipe to do that you can do at home, very easy. And I'm going to share a story of why I am doing this today. So anyway, so this week it's going to be about this, what I just mentioned. Next week, we're going to talk about designing and decorating and setting your home up a little bit with the intention of energy and bringing in positive energy into your actual spaces to bring in and manifest what it is you want. And so it's going to be a little feng shui. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. You guys know me, you know I'm into designing, I'm into that, and so I think it's really helpful to kind of know what things should be removed in a space, what we can add to a space, and we're talking little tweaks, things that you probably don't have to spend any money on, just things to be mindful of and aware of in your or in certain spaces. So we're going to talk about that next week. So that's going to be the topic next week is going to be about designing and decorating and paying a lot of focus into the different areas in your home and where we can enhance prosperity in your home, where we can enhance success, where we can enhance wealth, health, joy, love into your space by bringing in certain things. Okay, so that's going to be next week. So we're going to talk about that. Hello, Miss Tanya Kramer. Oh, she's an amazing decorator, by the way. She's like crazy good. So hi, darling. Okay, wonderful. So I love to see you on here, honey. So all right, so that's going to be next week. Is going to be a little bit about feng shui. It's going to be a little bit about that, a little bit about decorating, and then I'm going to be off the next week. And then October 7th, I'll be back on. And my topic for the 7th of October is going to be turning pain into purpose. So that is going to be what we talk about on the 7th of October. So this week is about energy, commanding your space. Next week, it's about kind of decorating and being really mindful of things we can place in our space that will bring good energy into our areas. There's certain areas that we want to focus on, wealth, love, things like that. And then I'll have a week off at the 30th of September. I will not be here. The 7th of October, we're going to talk about turning pain into purpose. So we're going to do that. Okay, so now you know that's my agenda. Really cool stuff's been kind of happening, got to tell you. So it's been amazing. So this week, I have had so many orbs flying through my office. Like my clients on Zoom, they're like, what was that? What just flew back there? Was that an orb? Was that an orb? I had so many readings this week where my clients actually caught the orbs in the background that's on their recording. So really, really cool. So love that. It was really fun. It was just amazing. There was so much energy in my office this week. It's been amazing. So I also just want to kind of share something really fun, a kind of little story that happened to me that I just want to kind of share quickly. And then we're going to get going. I'm just letting a couple people join on. So I'm just trying to keep you engaged. Okay, so what happened recently was I was going to sleep. I was sleeping and I'm in my bed, I'm sleeping and it's, I don't know, early in the morning, like 4. And I get woken up. So I get woken up by somebody tickling my feet with a feather. Okay. And no, it was not my husband. And so I'm in a dead sleep and I'm being woken up and I feel this tickling on my foot and I become aware that it's a feather. And then the moment I become aware it's a feather, I become aware of what's happening. In my clairvoyance comes a Native American with an enormous headdress on, enormous, like the feathers were so big and there were so many of them. And, as a medium, as a clairvoyant medium, the pictures mean something. And so your loved ones, when they give pictures in a reading, it always means something. There's information in every photograph that the spirit world gives. When they produce images, it takes a lot of effort to do that, to manifest that. That's their energy that they're using. And it takes a lot to do that, to make it not only appear so clear, but also to get me to understand what it means. And so this Native American shows up in my mind and this like huge headpiece, and I was overtaken by this headpiece. And so of course I want to Google, and I feel, oh my God, this is a guide. This is another guide. I have a new guide coming in. And that's what I felt from all of this, but I couldn't get my mind off of this huge headpiece that was going on. And so I thought, oh my gosh, what is that? So of course, I get up, right? And I'm like, I got to Google what that is. Because, I'm not very versed in, Native American cultures too much. I know a little bit, but, and I know those headdresses appear. But so I Googled it. And I knew this was a new guide coming in, so I know my team on the other side working with me is growing. As I'm not surprised, but it was cool. My guides always tend to come in early in the morning, and they always show me themselves clairvoyantly. So every guide has shown me themselves clairvoyantly. So every one of them. So I've never gotten a color or just a feeling or anything like that. I've always actually seen them. So I love that. So it says, so I Googled what this meant, and it said, the more feathers in a bonnet, the more accomplished the person. The bonnet is made from golden eagle feathers. The feathers with the tips and white are greater amounts of white. I didn't even say that right, did I? The more feathers in a bonnet, the more accomplished the person. I understood that he was powerful. Feathers are sacred gifts from the divine, a show of force from the heavens. So think about this. If any of you guys ever get feathers that drop on your doorstep or you find them, feathers are sacred gifts from the divine, a show of force from the heavens, that they are listening to your prayers, your wishes, and your desires. It's a symbol of acknowledgement that someone or something in the spirit world is looking out for you, keeping you safe and empowering you to whatever path that you set yourself on. Isn't that cool? I love that, right? Only those who were known as being admired and greatly respected from other members of the tribe would wear a headdress, as it's a symbol represents bravery and honor. A distinguished community member, such as a chief, a warrior, and a person being honored for something. So isn't that kind of cool? So anyway, I have a new guide that has made himself aware, so I'm loving that. So fun. Hey, Sarah. Let me see. Hi, Lori. How's you doing, honey? How's it going? Hey, Kelly. Hi, Monica. Let's see. Where are we going here? Okay, perfect. So let me just kind of see where you guys all are. Okay. So anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. I just wanted to kind of share that as we're kind of making some time here. Another thing I kind of want to talk about, which is a little bit why it's important, why I want to talk about energy today, is another situation happened to me this week, and well, actually yesterday. Actually happened yesterday. So I had this piece of art that I went to the framer to go get framed, and so I went to go take this art piece to get framed. It was canvas, and I'm walking in, and there's this woman at the back of the store. And she comes towards me, and she's looking at me kind of strange. And I said, I'm thinking to myself, like, what's the matter with me? Like, do I have a bird on my head or something? Like, why is she like looking at me like that? Like, so anyway, so she's looking at me, and she says, wow. She says, I had to come to the front of the room because I saw you walk in, and I felt you. Like, you have this enormous energy that's like, you walked in and I felt you all the way from the back of the store, and it moved me to come to the front of the store to see you. And I said, oh, well, thank you. So that's really nice. And she says, your energy feels so happy and so big and so happy. And I said, oh, okay. So I'm thinking to myself, all right, well, she's into this energy and everything. So I feeling okay. So she's ringing me up. I said, thank you, which is a very big compliment, by the way. When anybody says, I love your energy, that's like the best compliment somebody can give me, because I work a lot on that energy. And so I love that somebody recognizes that. So that was like cool that they felt me all the way at the back of the store as I just entered. So I love that. So as she's ringing me up, I'm feeling her and I'm like, this girl's done some like work for the world. This girl has done some work for the world. I know she's in this framing place, but I know she's done some work for the world. And so she comes over to me. She gives me the receipt. I have to sign it and everything. She's going to frame my piece. And I said, can I ask you something? And I said, I'm a medium. So she's like, oh, okay, good. And I said, I just got to ask you something, honey. You got a lot of people around you, like a lot of people. May I ask you, did you work in a funeral home morgue? And she looked back and she goes, yes, I did. I did. And I said, you liked it, right? And she says, I loved it. And I said, you got a lot of people. And I didn't get into a whole reading with her or anything, but there was all of these people that were with her that was making me aware of them, how happy they were, for how good they felt with how she made them look. And she said, oh, I loved it. I made them look good. And they had already told me that. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So anyway, my point just is I always say that people feel you before they hear you. So working on your own energetic place is really, really important, because, people will sense you and feel you before you even say a word. That woman felt me walk in before I even said a word, and she was at the back of the store. So how we step into our day, into our conversations, into our relationships, into our workplaces, into our clients, it matters. How our energy is matters. And we should always be very mindful of that. So we're going to talk about that today. But that was just a little example of how somebody could feel my energy before I said a word. Back in the room, already felt it. And as I just stepped in. And so understand that people are always feeling you. So they're feeling your heaviness, or they're feeling your joy. They're feeling your excitement, or they're feeling your negativity, or your restlessness, or they're feeling your adventurousness. So, whatever it is that you're emotionally feeling, that is energy you put out. And so people will feel that and they will respond to it. So that's something I want to just kind of talk about a little bit today, about how we can kind of clear that if we're kind of feeling a little bit heavy and not really feeling so good, or we're feeling a little bit not ourselves. Because listen, guys, when we lose loved ones, when we lose people in our life that we love, it does shift our energy. It does lower our energy, because we're grieving. And when we're grieving, we're at a much lower vibration, because, we have pain and we have heartache, and sometimes we bathe in that, and sometimes we don't know how to not bathe in that. And so today I just want to kind of give you some things to kind of maybe help you forward, to kind of shift that a little bit. And although grief is not something that can be over within a day or in a week, or a month or even a year, there is something that you can do to kind of help lift up your energy a little bit, to kind of level up that grief, to kind of make it a little bit more dealable, make it a little bit more easier, to allow it to begin to heal, have that process happen. And we have to be able to open the door to do that. So, okay. So, what was I talking about? Energy. All right. So, anyway, so, what is energy really? So, energy is really force that is being worked. It's force that's being worked. Energy is a worker bee. That is what energy is. Energy is always working, and there's different kinds of, and it's always taking form and taking shape. So our mood can create more of another mood, can create another mood, can create a different experience from that mood. And so energy is always creating. So how we are sitting within the energy within us matters, because it's creating more of similar ways of this energy to take shape. So, so it's really, energy is a force, and it's a force that is always changing. It's a force that's always moving. It's a force that's always working. And what I just want to tell you, what I think is a fun way to kind of think about this, when you think about energy, is think about clay. That clay is shaped, And clay is played with, and it's shaped, and you can make it things, right? So if you could think about energy that way, because sometimes it's hard for us to understand. We don't see energy, or we're not aware that that's energy, or we're like, so it's hard for us to sometimes interact with it, or to respond to it, or to take charge of it, because we're not really always understanding, because you don't always see it. So if you could just kind of visualize, like, energy is clay, and you are the hands that can mold the clay. And you do this through your emotions, and you do this through how you're feeling, and the energy. It always starts with you. So even when we're talking about our homes, when we have maybe some negative stuff that's going on in our homes, that we feel kind of, the house is kind of not feeling right, or I'm not feeling good in my house, we have to understand, like, what are we bringing into our space? Let's clear that out. Because let's be clear, sometimes, energy is going to sit, and it's going to linger, and it's going to take shape, and it's going to build, and it's going to feel heavier. And so it's really important to be mindful that we are really good housekeepers of our personal space. That includes our workspace. My workspace is always cleared. It's always cleared as far as there's never any clutter. It's always organized. I'm always giving it positivity. It's like the orbs were flying around. They're flying around. I love that. I love that. I love all the loved ones coming in. I remember I had this guy when I was closing up all of my offices, because I was doing everything on Zoom. I was giving away all my furniture in my Westlake Village office. And the guy's like, "Oh, I love this. This is great." I said, "It's yours." And they said, "Can I just ask you, though, because of the work you do, is there any, like, negative kind of energy attached to any of this furniture?" And I, like, giggled. I'm like, "Dude, are you kidding me? Like, you should be so lucky to have furniture with this kind of energy that has been filled with healing and blessings and the love of the spirit world, and all that energy that has been moving and flowing and orbs going. Like, are you kidding me? There's not a piece of furniture you're going to ever buy that's going to have the kind of energy that this furniture is going to have going into your home. You better hope it stays." I told him. Anyway, and it's the truth, but it made me laugh. I'm like, you have no idea. Like, that's the best energy to have. It's amazing. So we have to talk about, like, energy of furniture and energy of things that we have in our house. That'll be next week. But today it's really about clearing your space and being aware of how you're stepping into that space. And I mean work, and I mean home, right? So the reason why I want to talk about this is because I was at a home, and I was at home, somebody else's house, and they had sage. And they said, "Monica, could you please sage my home?" She was having a lot of struggles in her life. She was having a lot of things that weren't working in her favor. She had a lot of obstacles and roadblocks that were coming to her. Things weren't flowing and moving in her life, and she was really frustrated, overwhelmed, and at her wits. So I was there, and I said, "Sure." So I said, "Here's the thing. And I'm going to tell you the story, and this story is going to help you understand why this works, and why it's good to do, and why you will benefit from it. Because I'm going to give you an absolute example of what just happened maybe 2 weeks ago." Okay? So I said, "Okay, I'm happy to sage your place. I'm happy to do that." So she came with a bottle of sage and a cigar, like one of those wrapped, the white sage that looks like a cigar, right? I don't like working with those because they create a lot of smoke, and they turn the fire alarms on in the house. So I don't like working with those. And they're kind of messy because they drop umbers. And so when they get places, and it's messy because it gets dark and black, and I've done it, in my offices in the past, and it's like, shoot, now I stained my chair. So I stopped doing the actual cigars, but I call them cigars, sorry. Anyway, so I went to sage her house. So I said, "Okay, here's your job." So I gave her a task. Why? Because I want her to feel in control. And it's very important when you're saging a space to sage a space with intention. And it's important when you sage the space with intention that you vocalize it, and you verbalize it, and you have command with it. How you show up for your saging, the assertiveness and the certainty of it and the intention of what you are wanting to bring into your space makes a difference. So I said to her, what would you like? And so she spoke about, I want love in my house, and I want, prosperity, and I want, I just want things to be easier, and I want to feel happy here. I want to be happy. This is my new home. I want to be happy. And I said, okay. So I want you to write down, why you want that. So I wanted her to make a mindset for herself of why she wanted to sage the home. And then I went around and I saged. So, two-part. So when you sage your space and you sage your home, you have to sage every corner of every window and every door jamb. Okay? Everything that has an entrance and an exit for energy. And you need to use and command those areas, windows and doors, as a way to bring in what you want and to send out what you no longer want. So you have to understand that you've got to mentally open those windows and those doors. And understand that when you're saging, you are releasing everything that is not serving you in that space. Everything that you don't want, you're sending off. Because in your space, like when I walk into a home and I was looking at houses, I would know in 2 seconds if somebody left this house because they got divorced. I didn't need to go to the master bedroom and find out why one of the closets were completely empty because the husband left and the wife was still there, or vice versa. I would know in 2 seconds when I entered the door. Why? Because that energy is sitting there. It hasn't been cleared and released. So we need to do that. Otherwise, we bathe in that. We're sitting in that. We're living within that. We don't want to do that. We don't want to take on someone else's energy of their fighting. No, we want to create our own space. When I used to meditate every day in my chair at my office, I didn't let anyone, or in my home, no one sat in my chair. I didn't let anyone sit in my chair. That was my energy. That was my space. That was where the energy I was building and creating with the spirit world. I'm not letting anyone sit in there. That was my sacred space. Your home is your sacred space to you and to your family. And it's time that we honor that space and really make sure that we are not allowing things in it that's going to affect our mood, our emotional system, that's going to hinder us having a good day, right? So my little mug today, this is a good day to have a really good day. This is comfort tea, and it's from Aveda, and I love it. It's got licorice in it. It's really good for your digestion, but it tastes delish. From Aveda, I think it's the only kind they have. It's called comfort tea. I'm like addicted. Anyway, so I always start my morning with a positive mug. I'm always looking for ways to make positivity a part of my day. I'm looking for things all the time. I'm constantly becoming aware of what I can focus on to be positive. Because that positivity will resonate within me. It'll sit within me, and I will bathe through the day in that positivity mentally. Yeah. So it's very important that we take mind of that. It's very important to do that. So anyway, so I'm going through this woman's house, and I am saging the spaces, and I'm using a mantra to do a saging and a clearing. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to give you a recipe that you could do at home, that you could buy this online, but you could also just make it at home. I'll give you a very clean recipe, very, very easy recipe that you could do, and one that has a little bit more ingredients. And so I'll post them tomorrow too, but I'll say them here so you can, if you don't have a pen, you can just rewind this. Afterwards. So anyway, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you do this, saging your space. So understand that we bring things into our home that we don't realize. And we have conversations on our telephones in our kitchen that sometimes aren't good. And there is sadness. And even in our grieving process, where we are bringing a lot of heaviness into our space because we're grieving. And I'm not telling you not to honor the grief. You absolutely need to. But I'm also expressing the need to not let it compound. You have that already in your heart. We don't need to be sitting in it and around it at our kitchen table, in our family room, in our bedroom. We want to always try to do our housekeeping in our home energetically. So the cool thing about this is why I want to share this is I was doing the clearing in this woman's house, and I said, everything that is, negative, anything that is not for the best and highest good for all who live here is to leave now through the windows and doors, not to return. This space is welcoming only love and positivity, abundance, health, and joy. Anything that doesn't resonate with the energy of that is to leave now. And I was, doing these little things, and we had our little mantras, that intentions that she wanted, and we made it personal to her. And we went through all the windows and all the and then the door jams, through the bedroom doors and all that. And then I heard in my head, go to the front door. And I'm like, okay. So the girl says, where are you going? I said, I was sent to the front door. So I'm going to go to the front door. And she's like, what the? So I went to the front door, and the door is down some steps. And so I was going down to this door, and I'm starting to sage the front door. And the girl, the lady of the house, is sitting, there's 4 steps up behind me. She's watching me. She's watching me do everything. She begins to get emotional. Why is she getting emotional? She's watching me clear and cleanse her home. She's bought in this new home that she wasn't feeling happy in. And she was unhappy with the fact she wasn't being happy in this house. Things weren't moving, weren't flowing. And she was just at her wits. So she was emotional because the moment I started cleansing and clearing the space, she began to feel powerful. She began to command her own space by taking the initiative to do this simple step of clearing. So her own energy was starting to shift because she was now, instead of feeling unhappy in her space, she was feeling empowered in her space because she was taking command of her areas, of her space, of her home. So it was making her emotional, and she was just feeling the shifts. And then, as I'm going to this door, this front door that Spirit sent me to, the woman behind me, her home, she almost fell. And she says, whoa! And she completely lost her balance. She had to catch herself on the railing. And she says, what was that? And I said, you felt that? And she says, oh my God, it flushed right through me. It went right through me, and it blew past me. And I said, that was your energy. That was the negative energy leaving. And she began to cry as she felt and saw the releasing of what was in her home leaving her. Now, I'm not talking this is negative spirits. I'm talking about just heavy energy from conversation after conversation, after problem, of this not working, this appliance not working, and this breaking, and this not working, and this fighting. That is the negative energy that was storing space in her new home. And by taking command and telling it to leave, and when you want to clear negative energy, you gotta be forceful. You gotta have command. You are to leave now. You are not welcome here. Go. We welcome only love, joy, abundance, health, and wealth. This space is my space. I command what sits in it. And I sit with only what is for my best and highest. Do you see the command in my voice? That's all that you need to do. And this woman literally felt the energy right past her. And then she began to feel good. And day 1 and day 2 and day 3, she got a bounce in her step. Things are working out. Things are finding its place. Things are aligning. Things are getting resolved. All of a sudden, things start making sense. She's happier. You feel it in her energy. You sense it in her voice. And then she called me about almost 2 weeks later. And I noticed a shift in her energy a little bit. And she started going back in that pattern again. And this beautiful girl who has the best of intentions, who is such a good person, who is filled with love in her heart and just wants everything right, started to sense a little bit of this struggle again creep in. And I said, stop. I said, what are you talking about? What are your conversations? Okay, so the guides are just telling me, when you go to the front door of your house, why do people take off their shoes? Why do they take off their shoes? Because they don't want to bring dirt into the house. So you take your shoes off at the front door. The guides are saying, use this as an analogy, they're saying. To use this, and you don't know my guides, Edgar's my guides. So they pop in from time to time. Anyway, so they're wanting to use an analogy for you to as taking the shoes off at the front door. And we do this so we don't track mud and dirt into our home, right? Makes sense, right? So what they're saying here is, what they're expressing is, when you are out and about creating your experiences in your life, and not all of them are happy ones or positive ones. Sometimes we run into negative people, we have trouble, we have fights and arguments, things don't work out, we're not able to return something, we're in traffic. There's all this stuff that can happen. It's life. It happens. What the guides are expressing here is, they say, before you enter your home, take off your energetic shoes. Leave all of that outside your front door. Do not bring it into your space. And it's interesting because that's kind of what this woman was kind of doing. She began to slowly repeat some patterns, or certain patterns were starting to kind of reform again. And so it's kind of like trekking in dirt and mud. You've just cleared and cleaned your home and you did your housekeeping. We want to make sure we keep it clean. Right? So does that make sense? I think that's kind of a cool analogy that they're using. What do you guys think about that? I want to just understand what if you understand that. So does that make sense for you? And they're saying here also, you know, to have we like a clean kitchen. We like a clean kitchen, but in order to keep your kitchen clean, we must do the dishes, they say. So we have to make sure that we are always being mindful of clearing out our spaces and being aware of where there's some dirt, where there's some things that need to be cleaned and cleared. And it should be something that you're always doing. If you're always in the kitchen and you're doing dishes, you should always be mindful of what energy you're bringing into your space. Because by keeping it outside of the door, prevents the dirt from tracking in. Prevents the energy from coming into your space, so then you can keep your space better cleaned. But even with that, sometimes there's some dishes that need to be cleaned, so we need to clean the dishes. So they're using another analogy with kitchen cleaning, and I'm not quite sure exactly how they're trying to express this here, but what I'm just feeling here is, you know, we're always in the kitchen cleaning, and so we should always be mindful of our energy and what we're bringing into our spaces. And this goes for work as well. You can't expect to go to work. You can't expect to go to work and expect to have a wonderful day when you're fighting with all your colleagues. We have to find peace in that. So we need to clear that space, and we need to clear our own energy before we step into our office, into our desk, into our workspace, that we show up with an energy that's ready to perform in a way that you want to succeed that day. If I came to work every day and I was in a bad mood, do you think I'd be able to give good readings? No way. I am constantly having to be mindful of my space. So in a sense, I guess like the guides are saying, I'm always cleaning my dishes. I'm always cleaning my dishes because I always have to be mindful of that. Does this make sense? You guys, tell me what you think. What do you guys think about that? Great advice is clearing energy. Thank you. Love your mug message. Good. Thank you, guys. DJ Drama Mama. Hi, honey. Let me just wave to you. Totally agree on the energy that we send and receive from others. Perfect. And Lulu. Hi, honey. Thanks for joining. And Sharon, are you still on? I see you here. Sharon got me this ring. I got it from her. I bought it from her. Isn't that cool? It's from Sharon. So Sharon over here, she's on my little thing. Tanya Kramer, many Indians were located where your new house is. Interesting, right? Right. So that's actually a good point. That's probably right, Tanya. Exactly. And I got to tell you, too, the energy around here at this house, amazing. Like the red rocks that are all around me, that's one of the things that really moved me to move here. And I didn't really hinder at all in making the decision. And I made it fairly quick, is because it felt so good. where I am, it felt so good energetically, and it continues to feel so good. So I love that I got a house in a place that feels energetically really, really good to me. And it really, really does. And you're right, there is probably a lot of energy here with the red rocks for sure. So I love that. So anyway, be mindful of your space. So things that we can do. So one thing that I use, something you can use, like, so if you're kind of like wanting to clear your space, you want to make sure. So first of all, I don't use the cigar. I use the oil, the water. I make it with the liquid, and I just put it in a water bottle here. And what I use. And I'm going to talk about what is negative energy, what feels like negative energy. I'm going to get to that in just a second. But I just want to kind of tell you. So a very easy sage clearing spray that you could make in your kitchen. You just need a bunch of fresh sage leaves, a cup of hot water, a cup of white distilled vinegar, a fourth of a teaspoon of sea salt, sorry. So a fourth of a teaspoon of sea salt. And optional, which I like to add, it would be sage essential oils. So I love the essential oils, and I sometimes add rosemary also to it. I like to add rosemary as well. So I always put essential oils in it, and then I just spray. And so a bunch of fresh sage leaves, a cup of hot water, a cup of white distilled vinegar, a fourth of a teaspoon, I don't know, I'm so bad in cooking, TSP. Is that teaspoon or is that tablespoon? That's teaspoon, right? Teaspoon of sea salt, yeah. And essential oil, sage. So I love that, and you can get those. So that's what I use, and then you just need a spray bottle. That's it. And I also make them in travel sizes when I travel, because I'm traveling a lot, and so I always want to kind of clear the space when I go into a place, because hundreds of people stay in hotel rooms and stuff. And so I always just clear the space. So anyway, and then I always do a motion whenever I'm spraying. So if I'm spraying, I'm doing it like this. And so I'm always moving my arms in a circular motion because I'm moving the energy. I'm moving the energy. I'm just not doing that. I'm actually moving the energy, getting it to move. And then I'm having that command of my voice, of my intention. Your intentions are extremely powerful. Do not underestimate your intentions of the energy that you want to have in your home, the intentions of the life you want to have, what you want to manifest. Do not underestimate your intentions. That is energy too. And when you can verbalize them, it becomes even more powerful, because voice is also vibration, and vibration is energy. So we have all of these things, and then you take command of the process. It's a wonderful thing. And so I recommend you do that, whenever there's been a fight in the house, whenever things have not been going your way. And like the woman that I did it for in her house, she really, really not only physically felt it, so she actually had a knowing that something was actually happening. She actually felt better. And it was a release within her as well. And so for any of us who feel like maybe we're struggling a little bit, why don't we start with the energy space that we live within? And that's why next week we're going to talk about decorating a little bit, and a little feng shui, a little bit about bringing energy into our spaces through design and decor. So some fun things like that. So does that sound good? What do you guys think? I haven't even asked you guys what you guys are doing, what you guys are thinking. Hey, Kim. How are you? Hey, Pat. Okay, so let's just see. What do you guys talk? Oh, look at all this here. Hi, Joanne. Hey, Leslie. Hey, Helen. Hey, Nina. Do chimes clear the house as well instead of sage? If you take them around and use intention as well, thanks. You are the best. Thank you, Nina. You know what? There is... one of the things about clearing energy also is vibration, and like sound bowls. And I love listening to music in my home. I love to play flutes, Indian flutes. I love it. It just vibrates through my bones, and I love it so much. I love Indian flutes. Love. And that's noise. So chimes works. And again, feel what resonates with you, darling, because yes, chimes has music and sound and vibration. And if you want to go around with that with an intention, Absolutely. Really important is your intention. So that, I always say that your intention is your absolute divine communication with the spirit world, with the universe. It is your intention. It is your telephone line. So and then by being commanding what it is that you want, bringing that force to it, you're not messing around, and you are then molding that clay. You are then choosing what you're making in that energy that you decide to welcome in. So something that you could kind of say, if you kind of want to just hit all the buttons, you could kind of say, like an easy kind of mantra or affirmation, or something that would encompass love or health or wealth or prosperity, because some of us want all of that. As I spray and smudge, I set my intention now for my space to be filled with joy and happiness. May love surround me in every corner and at every turn I make. May this home be constantly filled in prosperity. And may the energy in my home today and every day to come be blessed with abundance of love, happiness, prosperity, good health, and of immense joy. This home radiates and pulses in the energy of all things good and well for me and for all who live here with me. And this is so. So that is an affirmation, intention, mantra that I created. And you're happy to have it. So as I spray and smudge, I set my intention now for my space to be filled with joy and happiness. May love surround me in every corner and at every turn. May this home be constantly filled in prosperity, and may the energy in my home today and every day to come be blessed with abundance of love, happiness, prosperity, good health, and of immense joy. This home radiates and pulses in the energy of all things good and well for me and all who live here, and this is so. Anything that does not resonate with what I command is to leave now. Done. Yeah. And it's very important when you are doing this that, again, as I did it, you have command. You are taking charge. You are in your power when you do it. Okay? So some of the things to understand, like what really how do you know if you've got some energy in your home that's not feeling really good, if it's feeling kind of funky? How do you know? We can't always see energy. Oh, how do I know if that's negative energy? How do I know? How you feel. How you are responding in your home is what is going to tell you that. How you are interacting in your home environment is what's going to tell you if there's some negative energy there. Yeah? So if you are feeling like you are blocked from achieving the things that you want, so maybe this resonates more for you in work, opposed to maybe in your home, or maybe in your home as well. If you are feeling blocked from achieving your goals, that's an indicator. If you're feeling on edge or feeling angry often, and you're not quite understanding why, you're always like just a loose cannon a little bit, you're just a little bit off and kind of a little bit angry and on edge a lot of the times, that's an indicator of negative energy that has been you've been bathing in it a little bit. Maybe disliking others more, or really having a negative thing to say about other people or other things or stuff or situations. If you're starting to find yourself talking negatively about people or scenarios or situations or world events, if you're finding yourself kind of in that place of communication, you've probably been bathing in negativity. If you just don't have if you don't have any energy physically or emotionally, if you just feel depleted and you feel drained, that's a sense of negative energy. So if you're feeling depleted, if you're feeling drained, maybe it's time to clear your energy and clear the energy of your home. And I'll talk about how to clear your own energy next. When you're not sleeping well, if your sleep is restless and you're not getting the kind of sleep or continuous sleep, that's an indicator that you could be bathing in negativity. You could be bathing in energy that isn't serving your best and highest. So that's something to consider. You're not really able to communicate correctly, or people aren't communicating to you correctly or completely or clearly. When you're noticing the conversations and communications is really lacking clarity, that's an indicator that you could be bathing in negativity that's not serving your best and highest. not concentrating, having difficulty, feeling very foggy, also losing things. When you find yourself misplacing things a lot, and then you find it somewhere that's really easy to find, that is an indicator. So when you're losing things, you misplace stuff a lot. When you find yourself misplacing things, that's often an indicator that, you're kind of, there's a little bit of hovering of, energy that really isn't serving your greater good. So that's something to kind of consider. And then when you do find it, it's like right in front of you, or wasn't in a hard spot at all, or how come I didn't see that before? That's kind of an indicator. So these are kind of some things. And really, the best thing is really just, how am I feeling? Your feelings are going to feel, and these are examples too, but these are some things that maybe are going on in your life that you can kind of resonate with. But then also you have to just clearly ask yourself, how am I feeling? And am I feeling kind of down? And I'm feeling a little sluggish? And am I feeling like I don't have any motivation? And am I feeling like, nothing really is inspiring me? Am I feeling like I don't really have something positive to say today? Am I feeling like I kind of want to talk about things that are not uplifting? Is my mood making me feel like I want to talk in those directions? Maybe it's an indicator. That's what I want to say. So these are things to pay attention to. And it's so important to be aware. As I said earlier, people feel you before they hear you. Remember the girl in the framing store? She felt me as I entered. I didn't say a word. So our energy is filled with our own mood, and we have to create that mold, that clay within us of what feels good for us. And that's work. You don't have a piece of clay and you're working with energy. You don't have a piece of clay and it just becomes something all by itself. You got to put work to it to mold it and shift it. That's what you need to do with your life. You got to mold and shift and shape the energy that you want, that's going to resonate the outcome that you're looking to have in your life. You have to take responsibility in that. It's time to leave the shoes at the front door, like Edgar said. And don't track in what you had that day. When I was a photographer many years, and I traveled from place to place to place, and it was exhausting, and I did so much traveling. I was on the road all the time. I worked super long hours. And I used to get off the freeway after a long, long day, and sometimes 2-3 hours driving, and like 14-hour work days, and then the commute. I would park it in the grocery store parking lot down the street from my house before I went home, because I was pooped. I was exhausted. I wasn't bringing into my home an upbeat, happy to be home energy. I was bringing in, I'm pooped, I'm exhausted, I don't have anything left, I'm tired, and now I have little kids I gotta be there for. And so, and you want to show up for your kids in the right way, or who's in your home the right way, but sometimes it's hard if we're not clearing our own energy. So what I want to talk about a little bit is how to do that, how to clear your own energy. And, maybe when you're coming home from work and you're feeling beaten, exhausted, and you had a tough day and you had a negative call, or you just took a call on the road home and, it wasn't good, or you had a conversation that wasn't good, or your day didn't go well, or you didn't close that deal, or whatever it is, or whatever it is, even if it's not coming from work, it's just coming from your day. Please just understand that you can shift that energy by your intention. I have on my website, monicateurlings.com, go to my meditation page. I think it's 11-minute meditation, and you could literally do this in 2 minutes. But I like the 11-minute one because it kind of gives you a good foundation of what it is we're trying to be doing. So it's 11 minutes, it's called the reset. And it's resetting your own energy. It's about recognizing, ooh, I'm not feeling good. Oof, I'm feeling depleted. Oof, I'm feeling angry. Oof, I'm feeling not myself. Ugh, I don't like the direction of my conversations. I'm not liking the direction of conversations I've been having. I'm not liking my mood right now. I'm noticing I'm not as upbeat as I would like to be. Awareness. And then you pause. And then you take a moment for yourself and you clear your own energy. Intention is everything. Just close your eyes and take some breaths and just breathe in and just. And as I often talk about spiritual showers that you could take in the shower, as you allow the water on your head to just flow over you and let it wash away any and all negativity of the day, any negativity that is residue on you. You release it, let it go into the drain, right? And then you breathe in positivity, bright light, good energy, and good vibes, right? So you could do that in the shower. But you can pull over in your car somewhere safe. You can pull into your driveway before you walk into your house and just get still for a moment, close your eyes, and just take a couple of breaths in and out. Be there for yourself. Take a few breaths in, a few breaths out, and just inhale and exhale. And then as you're inhaling, you're breathing in positivity. As you're exhaling, you're releasing any and all negativity. And just on 2 or 3 exhales, just feel the exhale, just vibrate, just mentally just feel it leaving you, feel it leaving you, feel it leaving you, going right out through your feet, out of your toes and out. And then just breathe in positivity. Today's a good day. I'm reset. My energy is lifting. I'm feeling it lift now with each breath I'm taking now. And just take that moment for yourself to just clear your energy. So that's just something you can do for yourself before you bring that stuff home, before you bring that stuff into your relationship, before you bring that stuff into your kids, into their life, into your home, into your workplace, into the next client. Clear and shift your energy. The reset meditation is a great little meditation. Play with it tonight. Just feel it out. You can tweak that to a minute, to 2 minutes. You'll get the point of what the reset meditation is about. Do that for yourself. And this is a way that you can leave your shoes at the door and not track in the dirt. Make sense? Perfect. Okay, so things that you can also do for yourself to bring in positivity. You know, I'm going to tell you meditation. So I'm going to tell you that. Walking in nature. Many of you do that, and that's wonderful. It helps to cleanse you. I love baths, and I love essential oils in my bath. It's a wonderful way. I always throw sage in my bath, and I'm really good about giving myself a bath a couple times a week, and I sage myself. I sage my energy in my bath, and I love it. And I give that to myself. I give myself that time to do that, and I enjoy it. Music, somebody talked about music and vibration, and they talked about chimes, and I love the flutes. I love Indian flutes. I love how that feels. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do that tonight. I'm going to play some flutes music. I love that. So find some music that is soothing for you, that makes you feel good. I love sound bowls. It vibrates in my body, and it just does something to my energy, to my chakras. It clears and cleanses, and I love it. And as I'm hearing it, I'm clearing and cleansing, and I'm telling myself I'm clearing and I'm cleansing. Right? So that's something you can do. Walking, moving your body, laughing, watch a funny movie, sing. I was singing all day today. I sing before my readings. I do. I do, because I put myself in a good mood before my readings. I sing before every reading I give. Giving you too much detail. Anyway, okay. Sitting in gratitude is another way. I had a client that I had today, and yesterday. I think it was yesterday, yesterday, and I went through a gratitude exercise with her. This woman was pretty negative. And she was really kind of down and really didn't see the forest for the trees. She was really kind of stuck. And I gave her this little exercise in gratitude. Can I just tell you, like in 45 seconds, a minute, her energy shifted. She even saw it. She even noticed it. It was so clear. It was the first time she was actually laughing and smiling in our reading. So gratitude is a wonderful thing, and sitting in it and just spending 5 minutes in gratitude and just pick a topic of what you're grateful for will absolutely shift and change the energy within you. And that's a great way to start your day. Just like starting a day with a, inspirational cup, right? That's a nice way of starting it too. Sitting in gratitude for what you're grateful for. Pick a topic. Every day change the topic. Make it something else. Great way to shift and change your energy and to start your day in a positive place. Right? And then it's for you to make sure you stay there. And it's for you to make sure that you change your way of thinking. You're mindful if you see yourself shift into to the dark side, I say, to bring yourself back to the light side, right? Because, things happen in our day. We got to be mindful of that. Stuff happens, but if we're aware of it, we can catch it right away. That's a beautiful thing. So being by the water, lake, ocean really helps me to get rid of the negativity, resetting my energy to positivity. Perfect. I mean, that's absolutely perfect. Waves, water, nature, ocean, all of these kind of things. We got to ask ourselves, are we doing enough of that self? Are we doing enough of that stuff in our life for ourselves and for our well-being, and for our energy is our well-being? Because, if we're carrying a bunch of heavy burdens on us and we're not shifting and clearing that energy, it's going to be a tough day. Let's just face it. So we don't want that. Okay, so all right, so clearing your energy. I talked walking, singing, laughing, prayer, affirmations, mantras. I always say a mantra, everything is okay today and all is well in my world. I just say it all the time. I just find myself doing that. I'm just saying those things. I'm always saying things that are positive. I know that the voice and the words are vibration. I know that resonates and emanates out of me, and I know that that's what I want to feel, because I want that coming back to me. And so I got to be mindful of what I'm putting out, what I'm bathing it. What I'm bathing in is also what I'm putting out. So I need to be mindful of that. Make sense? Okay. All right. So I have so much I want to talk about today. Another good reason to clear your home and do the saging is also, if you're going to sell your home, it's good to get that energy really clear and fresh. When you purchase a new home, you're just moving in, you want to get rid of all those people's energy and you want to bring in positivity. Those last people might have had a lot of money worries, a lot of money trouble, a lot of money problems, a lot of money fighting. We don't want to bring that. We don't want that residue in our home. No, we want to clear that. We want to bring in prosperity and wealth and joy. So we want to get rid of all of that. So when we have a new home, we always want to clear that space, a new job, that area, a new car, all of that, your new workspace. We want to do that. If you have lost a loved one, it's wonderful to clear that energy space, because you've been sitting there and you've been heavy and it's been emotional. We want to clear that space and start bringing in some joy and happiness back into your space like you once had. That is not dishonoring your loved ones. On the contrary, it's honoring them, because you're honoring you. So remember that. If you've had fights or arguments, or you had a fight or argument, we want to clear that space. If something negative happened in your home, if you had a dog and the neighbor attacked your dog, and then the dog, you had to be put to, that could be heavy for you. We want to clear that space, you see, and change that space. Anything that would have happened that made you feel heavy at all, and not feeling yourself, that's keeping you from living the life you are intended to live, being joyful. All right. So, all right. So I have a little bit more bigger recipe for the sage that I could tell you about if I can find it. Let me see. See if I can find it here, or I'll post it tomorrow. It's pretty much the same as the other one, but it just has a few more ingredients. It has like Frankenstein. It's got a couple other ingredients. Where the heck is it now? I'll find it. Anyway. And I have some quotes too. Also, I just want to kind of share too, like, do you ever wonder if your loved ones are around you? Do you ever wonder? I think I'll save that for next week, actually. What time is it? Oh, it's late. I'll save that for next time. Okay, so let me just tell you some quotes. Also, I just want to tell you, I'm going to be doing some events coming up here. So this weekend, I'm going to work on that. I'm going to post them on my website. So take a look on my website. I'm going to be posting a couple of different things. So if you guys are interested to do any events, I'm going to post a couple things. That is my goal this weekend, to do that and find time. Okay, so remember, anybody who is messaging you for things, remember I said that, any type of people that are trying to lure you to them, to their page or whatever. Who knows what they're going to try to sell you and what they're going to ask and what credit cards they're going to ask you for and what they're telling you. And believe me, if they're coming on someone else's page, they can't be very, their code of ethics can't be so great. So you have to kind of wonder. So, okay, so I just want to remember that. Remember that next week I'm going to talk about feng shui. I'm going to talk about how to decorate a little bit in your space to kind of, kind of part 2 on this about how to kind of add some wonderful areas in your space that would be wonderful for you energetically. I hope you enjoyed the story about the woman with the saging in her house. It was really very profound for her. Oh, Pat says, you like an Indian flutes, not surprised with a new guide with a headdress appeared for you. Yeah, that's actually a good point. I never even thought about that. But actually, that's actually a good point because guides that come in, there's similarities to you and them. When you have a guide, there's similarities. Don't think that you have a guide that's like so far removed from anything you stand for, believe in, love, enjoy. No, they've been with you. And so they have, merged themselves within you throughout your life and in times in your life. And they resonate to you because there is a similarity, you see. So actually, Pat, thank you for that because that's very, very true. So, our guides are always, there's a similarity between them and you. So yeah, the flutes, I love Indian flutes like so much. Okay, do you guys have any questions for me? I mean, I've been talking about this. I've been chit-chatting and yik-yakking, and I haven't let anyone ask a question. I haven't let anyone come on. I just been just a yacker. You guys have, Sarah says, I had a great sage experience here at the 3 flat I've lived in for many years after really bad tenants finally left. It really worked. Wonderful. See, it does. I promise you, just listen. I am only going to share things for you that I can resonate with. I'm only going to give you things that have worked for me and that I have absolutely seen with my own eyes and felt. I've seen the experience transform somebody. I'm not going to just talk BS. I'm only sharing with you what I know has worked for me, for a client, for someone else, and what the spirit world has shared with me. I'm only going to speak what I know to be so. So please know I come with great intent to really just share what I know works. And that's it. But it's for you to do if you want to. Helen says, love it. Joanne, it does make a lot of sense. Good. Hey, Kelly, keep it clean, keep it balanced. Exactly. Right? And don't you feel good also? We'll talk more about that next week. But hey, Kathy Silveria, how are you, honey? Remember the movie where the baker would be in love and bake and his customers would be filled with joy? Feelings toward dishes, baking, or whatever. Right. Whenever you're doing what you love and what you're doing, it resonates out. Listen, you are pulsing out energy. You are always pulsing out energy. Always. So you are pulsing out the energy that you are feeling. Are you doing things in your life that feel energetically good? Good for you. Happy. Happy for you. Are you doing these things? You have to be your own manager and you have to manage your energy. And you have to command that energy to be that what you want in your home and also around. Listen, I work really hard at my energy. It's not like I ignore it. No, it's constant daily housekeeping. Like Edgar said with cleaning the dishes. It's constant housekeeping. I am always having to be aware. It's like if you could just think about it, if you're in your home, you got to pick up the t-shirt, you pick up the dirty socks, you put the dish away from the family room and put it in the dishwasher. You're always picking up and moving and clearing. You need to do that with your energy space. Just consider it's like, oh, I took home that conversation. I didn't like that. The Housewives, do you guys watch the Housewives of Utah? It's a new one. I've been watching all the Housewives forever, so I know all of them. And the new one is Utah, right? And there's a girl, Meredith. So Meredith on Utah. Any of you guys follow the Housewives of Utah? I think it's Meredith. Is it Lisa? No, it's Meredith. And she always says, like, when conflict starts coming, she removes herself. And she says, I am disengaging. I am disengaging from this conversation. I am removing myself from this place. I am disengaging from this conversation, this topic, this. She always says, I am disengaging. She is commanding her power. She is commanding what she's choosing to let into her experience and not. She is choosing to walk away from what is not serving her, what is going to give her negative feelings. She ain't taking that with her. So she disengages. So I love that. So disengage from conversations that don't resonate with you and don't give you the feeling that you want. And sometimes that's hard because sometimes we have to have conversations with people in our family or different people in our life that we need to stay with. But you don't. You can stay with the family, but disengage from that conversation, that topic of conversation. You're in power. And so you have to command that in your space and in your own energy field. All right? Because people feel you before they hear you. Yeah? Okay. Let's see. A quote. Let's see, a quote. See if we have anything else here. Hi, Leslie. You're excited about it. Love these flutes too, Sarah says. Ruth, hello, how are you? First time tuning in with you. Would love any messages drawn from my family that passed. I'm not doing messages on my lives here. We're talking about energy though, but I do give away readings from time to time, Ruth, so if you'd like to continue to join in with me on these Thursday nights. Hi, Nina. I love Indian flute, she says. Evie says hi to beautiful Zoe. Oh yeah, Zoe's in my room. I don't think Instagram can see her, but my dog is in my office. Hi, Brandy. Hi to you. Hi, Melissa. Love the mantra, she says. Can't wait till next week's live. Good, because I'm going to fill it with a bunch of stuff. But I really believe it. You know, I love decorating. I want to share something, too, if you guys are, maybe I'll share it next week. It's okay. I'll share it next week. It's getting late. Deborah, thank you, Monica. I love this on clearing our homes. I have always sage as well, and then I spray with a citrus spray. That's good. Afterwards, or a rose spray. That's good. I also use panko sticks. That's good, too. Sometimes that's more, that's good. Perfect. Good girl. Good job, Deborah. How should you sage your home? Okay, so I talked about that, Joanne, how to sage the home in a motion like this around every window frame, every door frame, and the front door. So anywhere where things can move in and move out, where energy can flow in or out, anywhere the wind can go in and out is where you want to sage around, okay? So you want to sage around windows, door frames, door jambs, and your front door, and back door, and garage door. And Sarah says that's why hoarders get so stuck, never clearing any energy, just collecting more and more. Truth. We have to declutter. You know, decluttering is really important. We'll talk about that more next week. But anyway, okay, I just want to see if I have any of you go. Hi, Sherry. How you guys doing? Let's see. Great topic. Love your energy, Monica. Thanks, darling. Let's see who else here. Love the shoes analogy. Perfect. Let's see, perfect analogy, great advice on clearing energy, perfect. Okay, hi Eden. Okay, so listen guys, I just wanted to share a little bit because listen, sometimes we feel stuck and sometimes we just feel stuck because energetically we're stuck. We just feel energy's not moving through us in the way that feels better to us. So let's clear it. It's not rocket science, it's easy peasy. Set the intention, make the time, put yourself as priority. Command your space. Take charge. And choose what comes in and what doesn't go in. Leave your shoes at the front door. Leave the energy that doesn't serve you out. Don't bring it into any of your spaces. All right? I love you guys so much. I thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know we talked a lot. I had so much more to talk about. I just feel like we just kept run. I just kept chatting on and on. Here we have a quote. I think this is a really nudge, a nice smudge. When you spray, it's smudging, right? And when you do the stick, it's like saging. So, but still smudging, saging is the same. It's just smudging is really with the liquid. As I smudge, I release energies that no longer serve me, all negativity that surrounds me, and all fears that limit me. And so it is. Powerful. See the command? You take command. You take power. You take control. Here's another smudge prayer. Negativity that invades my space, I banish you away with the light of my grace. You have no hold or power here. I stand and face you with no fear. Be gone forever, for this I will say. for this is my sacred space, and you will obey. Nice. Powerful. Love that. That's a smudging prayer. So I love that. Change your energy, change your life. Isn't that a good one? Crystal loving, chakra balancing, sage smudging, high vibing, spiritual me. Love that. That's fun. I love that. That's good. All right, so those are some of the quotes I had for today that kind of worked with our live today. And again, sometimes we just feel a little bit stuck. Sometimes, we just need a little clearing, a little cleansing, a little housekeeping in our energetically in our spaces and within ourselves. So take a sage bath, treat yourself, sage your space, love yourself, listen to music that vibes you high, be kind, use words that are kind for yourself, leave negativity at the door, don't bring it into your home, don't bring it into your phone conversations in your home. Really treat your home and your space and you as sacred, okay? I love you guys. Thank you so much. I hope you'll be with me next week, Thursday, as we take part 2, as we talk about more about your homes and your and decorating and little ideas and tricks and things that we can do to create a good flow of energy to move positively in your space. Okay, you guys are awesome. Hi, Madison. How are you? Love the message. Thank you, darling. Hi, Leslie. Hi to you. Okay, perfect. Anything else you guys want to say before I chime out? Let's see here. Thanks for tuning in, Ruth. Hi, Brand. Okay, oh, hold on. I said that already. Hang on. Sometimes these comes in late. Melissa says, love tonight. So glad I got to join. Perfect. I know that sometimes you can't always make these courses. I just find Thursday nights to be the easiest for me. So it tends to be the time where I can make the space to come here for you and come here and share and hang out with you. I want to hang out with you. I love hanging out with you guys. So thank you so much for joining me. You can replay some of this if you want to hear those recipes for the sage spray. And next week, I'll see you at the same time, okay? And until then, love you guys and be well, okay? Until then, bye.